My name is Thomas Miller. I am 46 years old, and though I have no mugshot and no rap sheet, I am a thief. I have spent years committing a quiet, bloodless robbery against the only two people who would trade their last breath to keep me breathing. My father, Arthur, is a man whose skeleton seems to be made of iron and North Carolina red clay. He spent 42 years in the heat of a furniture factory, his lungs coated in finish and his fingers scarred by saws. Today, he sits in a recliner, defeated by the complexity of a streaming remote. My mother, Evelyn, is a woman who once managed to make a single chicken and a bag of potatoes feel like a Sunday feast for six. Her laughter used to be the heartbeat of our home. Today, she loses her breath just navigating the hallway to see if the mailman brought anything other than bills. And me? I am the one stealing their oxygen. I am the high-altitude thief of their remaining hours. I don't do it out of cruelty, I do it out of success. I live 4 states away in a city of glass and granite, where being slammed is a status symbol we wear like a designer watch. I have a mortgage that keeps me awake at night, 2 teenagers who only look up from their screens to ask for gas money, and a digital calendar that looks like a game of Tetris played by a madman. I convince myself I'm a good son because I call every Sunday at 6 p.m. I send the grand deluxe gift basket for birthdays. I pay a local kid to plow their driveway so Arthur doesn't have to touch a shovel. But I know the truth. I am trying to buy an indulgence. I am trading wire transfers for actual presents. I give them the crumbs of my life, rushed voice notes and likes on mother's blurry photos of her garden. I've tricked myself into thinking that providing for them is a substitute for being with them. I was dead wrong. Last month, a conference in Columbus was cut short. Suddenly, I had a dead afternoon, a rental SUV, and no obligations. My parents live 90 minutes south, in one of those Appalachian towns where the coal dust has settled and the clock seemed to have stopped in 1994. I didn't call. I just drove. I pulled onto their gravel drive around 3 p.m. It was a Monday. The autumn sky was that bruised, beautiful purple-gray. The sun was still high. And that's when I saw it. There, on the porch of the house where I once crashed my first bike, the light was burning. Not a sleek LED or a smart bulb. It was the old, amber bug light in the frosted glass housing. It was glowing defiant, warm, and utterly unnecessary in the bright afternoon glare. I sat there, my hands gripping the leather steering wheel, feeling a surge of modern annoyance. The efficiency expert in my brain started doing the math. Dad, do you know what the utility rates are doing? Why are you wasting juice? I could hear my own condescending logic. I didn't get out right away. I just stared at that stubborn yellow glow. I am 46. Arthur is 82. Evelyn is 80. Their world, which once encompassed PTA meetings, union halls, and neighborhood poker nights, has folded inward. It has shrunk to the dimensions of that small brick ranch. The hunting trips are over. Most of their friends are names on headstones now. Their universe is now the kitchen table, the pharmacy drive-thru, and that porch. When I walked in, the TV was blaring some game show host shouting over canned applause. Mom gasped, nearly dropping her knitting, looking at me as if I were a hallucination. Dad tried to haul himself out of his chair, his joints popping like dry kindling. A flash of genuine physical pain crossed his face, but he buried it under a grin. Well, look at this, he rasped, his eyes turning glassy. The big shot finally ran out of gas in our neighborhood. We spent 5 hours doing nothing. And it was the most productive 5 hours of my decade. I ate a piece of dry pound cake I didn't want. I listened to Dad explain the territorial disputes between the local Blue Jays as if it were a front-page scandal. I updated the software on Mom's phone. As the sun dipped below the hills, the house grew still. The silence in an old couple's home has a weight to it. It's a physical thing, made of ticking grandfather clocks and the low hum of the chest freezer. I stood at the sink with Mom while she rinsed the coffee mugs. Through the glass, I saw the porch light, finally making sense in the gathering dark. Mom, I said softly. When I got here today. It was the middle of the afternoon. Why was the porch light already on? She stopped scrubbing. She looked out at the yellow beam, her expression one of tired, infinite grace. Because, Thomas, she whispered, we never know when the door might need to be found. The wind was knocked out of me. She didn't say, we knew you were coming, because they had no clue. She wasn't just talking about me. She was talking about my brother in Seattle who is scaling his business. She was talking about the grandkids who haven't called since Christmas. She was talking about the world that had outpaced them. That light wasn't an electrical waste. It was a lighthouse. It was a signal fire burning on the edge of a forgotten coast, screaming to the darkness, we are still here. We are waiting. We haven't locked the heart of this house yet. I realized then that my parents aren't just getting older. They are navigating a loneliness that my connected generation cannot fathom. We have 10,000 followers, but we have left the people who gave us life stranded on a silent island. I stayed the night. I slept in my old room, surrounded by trophies for sports I no longer play. The next morning, I watched them. I saw how they both flinched with hope every time a car tires crunched on the gravel outside. I saw how Dad, a man who once stood up to corporate giants, now checks his phone every 10 minutes hoping for a text from a grandson that will never come. They don't want my premium flower arrangements. They don't want the fancy gadgets. They don't want me to fix their lives. They just want me. They want the sound of my laughter in the kitchen. They want to hear me complain about my boss. They want to sit in the same air, watching the news, and feeling the quiet reassurance that they haven't been erased yet. The truth is, parents never retire from the job. Their knees give out, their eyes fail, but the job description stays the same, they wait. They keep the light on. They hold the fort until we decide to come home. Our only job is to show up. If you are reading this right now, scrolling through your feed, please stop. If you are lucky enough to still have them, those slow, analog, sometimes frustrating people who gave you everything, do not wait. Don't wait for the holiday. Don't wait for the milestone. Don't wait for a gap in your schedule. There is no such thing as a good time. There is only this time. And please, do not wait until you are standing at a casket. Go to them. Go on a random Monday. Drive the extra hours. Cancel the meeting. Just walk through the door. Sit on the faded sofa. Eat the stale crackers. Listen to the story you've heard 30 times before, and listen to it like it's a sacred text. Look at their faces. Note the new wrinkles. Memorize the rhythm of their breathing. Because a day is coming sooner than your ego wants to admit when you will pull onto that street, and the porch will be dark. The house will be silent. And you will realize, standing on that cold driveway, that you are no longer a child. You are an orphan. You will look at that black window and you would give every promotion, every stock option, and every dollar in your retirement fund just to see that wasteful yellow light flicker on one more time. You will beg the universe for 60 seconds to walk through that door and say, I'm here. Don't be a thief. Go home while the light is still burning.